Welcome to another Zelda Ocarina of Time video, and in today's video we are Adult Link taking down the Forest Temple. In this video I'll show you how to take down all the sub-bosses, how to get through every room, 100% of the items you can collect, and of course all the tips, tricks, and strategies I use to get through this temple quickly. We'll also be covering one of the best boss fights in this franchise. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey. The first item we're going to get is not actually in the Forest Temple, it's in the maze just before it. It's a Gold Skulltula, and you're going to need it to be nighttime. So come back down out of the temple to this area where we've got the fairy fountain down in this hole. You can stop down here, pick up a couple fairies and empty jars to take to the Forest Temple, and make sure you're healed up before we go. When you're healed up and have your fairies, jump out of the fairy fountain and then look towards the east wall here at nighttime. Use your hook shot, look up a little bit, and listen, and you'll find a Gold Skulltula on the wall. Let's kill it and then collect the token before we head inside to the Forest Temple. In the first room, you're up against two Wolfos enemies. The safest way to deal with this guy is to keep your shield up and keep him targeted. Then when he hits your shield with his hand, you'll have just enough time afterwards to retaliate with a quick little sword stab. Or you could stand back a little bit, wait for an opening, and hit him with your hook shot. Then you can go in and attack him safely. The Wolfos does have a weak spot located on their back, so if you can get them to expose their back, you can do a lot more damage. This is easily done if you move out of the way when they attack. The momentum of them missing turns them around. The other option is you could bring the big Goron sword to the fight. This does 8 damage with a jump attack. That means you'll kill these guys in one hit. After the fight, you'll notice that there's some vines on the wall we can climb. Climb up the vines until you can stand on top of this tree here. Standing on top of the tree, we can use our hook shot, look a little further up the vine and see that there's a Gold Skulltula. Use your hook shot to kill it and collect the token. Then carefully turn around and walk out to the edge of this branch on the tree you're standing on. We can use the hook shot to travel over to the chest over there on the other tree. In this chest, we'll find the first of 5 small keys we need to make it through the temple. Now head inside, and in the first hallway, we come across a big Skulltula, but you can take these guys out instantly with your hook shot. Kill this one and then move into the main room. After the cutscene, head straight across the room, up these stairs and through the door. The next enemy we're going to come across is this blue bubble. To make his bubble shield go down, you have to bump into him with your shield. Then when he's jumping around on the ground like this, 2 hits with the Master Sword will take him down. If it's too hard to hit, you could hook shot him to freeze him. If you're here with the big Goron sword, you'll run into a little bit of difficulty because you can't block with your shield, which isn't going to bring his blue bubble down. So put your sword away, then bring out your shield and block with him, then you can bring it back out to finish him off. In the next room, we're up against 2 Stalfos enemies at the same time, and you're locked in this room, but luckily they don't really gang up on you, they kind of take turns, so you can take them out one at a time. When I'm fighting these guys, I like to use my hook shot. There's a lot of opportunities in their attack pattern where the hook shot can get in and freeze them, and then I can come in with a jump attack to finish him off. So hook shot as many times as you can. It's not guaranteed, but spam it until you get through and then jump attack. Defeating these Stalfoses will reward you with a chest that has the second small key we need for this dungeon. Before you leave this room, make sure you check the jars in the corner, because one of them has a fairy, which we can either save for later or use now if we had a tough fight against the Stalfoses. Then you'll have to leave the way you came, which means we'll have to take care of this blue bubble again. Well, you don't have to actually, the door's not locked. You could just walk past him and leave. And once you get back out into the main hallway, before you get anywhere, look on the wall to your left. There's a Gold Skulltula we can reach with our hook shot, kill it, and collect the token before we move on. After you collect the token, head back down the stairs and then make a right into this hallway where we'll find a time block. Use your ocarina to play the Song of Time. That'll remove this block and we can head outside. When you come across these big Deku Babas, hit them with your hook shot. That'll freeze them and make them stand straight up so you can chop them off at the stem. To take out the Octorok, just target him and hold your shield up. Then his projectile will go right back into his face. Outside, the goal is to get over to these vines on the right-hand side. We want to climb them to a new doorway, but there's Skulltulas in the way. The first 2 you can target with Navi and take out with your hook shot, but the third one you can't reach from the ground, so you're just going to have to watch where they're looking and sneak past them. Once you get into this room, you'll be locked inside with a blue bauble. So get out your shield, take down his shield, defeat him, and that'll let you out of the room and reveal a chest. Open the chest to score a dungeon map for the Forest Temple. Now exit the room through the opposite side, and we'll be on the balcony of a new outside area that's got a little baby Deku Baba. Take him out. There's also a Skulltula on the wall you could take out if you want. Head to the far edge of the balcony so that your hook shot can reach this little switch over here. That'll drag you to this new balcony, and then we can step on this switch. That's going to lower the water in the well. We want to go down there. So jump off the balcony and head down the well. This will lead to a new path, and at the end of this path you'll find a chest with the third small key inside that we need. Climb up the vines on the wall next to you. This leads back to the first outdoor area, and let's go back inside. Once in the main room, look for the area that has a ledge and then some stairs leading up to a locked door. This is where we head next. This leads to a hallway with a big Skulltula. Just take him out with your hook shot and head to the next room. When you enter this room, there'll be a blue bauble we have to take care of. Once he's out of the way, we're going to head up the ladder in the back. This ladder leads to another ladder that gets us to the second floor of this room, where Navi talks to us about arrows on the ground. Follow the arrows around the corner until you get behind the big blue block. Now push it up until it's on top of those arrows. This also reveals a little room with a ladder. Now turn around and take this newly discovered ladder up to the next floor. There's another tunnel up here that has a giant red block. Push this one forward as far as you can before we turn around. Now turn around and jump down to the previous level where that blue block was. I pushed it a little too far. You want to line it up to be with these arrows so that we can push it all the way to the end of the hall to get to the next area. Now turn around and go back through these tunnels we first went through. You can come up to the blue block on this side, push it into place so we can climb up it and get to the next floor and be on the other side of that red block. Now push this red block all the way until it goes into its hole, and then we can climb up on top of it, which leads to a ladder that gets us to the top of this room. Up here we're going to find 2 more of those blue bubble enemies, so have your shield ready so we can take them out. Once they're disposed of, we're going to head through the locked door to the twisted hallway. This is the perfect spot to cast Furor's Wind so we can come back here quickly. The problem is though, if I cast it before I go through the door, the warp point actually goes through the floor, back down to the beginning of this room because that's where we entered it. That's not what we're looking for. Instead, make sure you go through this door first, then come back out, so that when we cast Furor's Wind, it'll stay here because that's our new entry point. Now that we have our fast travel point set up, we can head into the twisted hallway. When you get to the end of this hall, Navi's going to warn you about shadow monsters that drop from the ceiling. But as long as you're not just standing still, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Make your way to the locked door on the other side. Once inside this room, head down the stairs and exit through the door at the bottom of this room. Now we're in a one-on-one fight against the Stalfos, but you can use your hook shots and jump attacks to take him out quickly. Now you're going to be in a 2-on-1 fight against the Stalfoses, but this one's a little bit more tricky. Notice when I defeat this skeleton that his bones don't disappear. And that's because if we take too long to defeat his friend, he's going to build himself back together and come attack you again. But if you can defeat the second Stalfos quickly, then the other one's not going to come back to life. That's how we get the chest. If this is too difficult, try targeting one, hitting him, and then targeting the other one and hitting him. Take turns so that you know when one falls, the other one only needs one more hit. Or if you need to, just get your big Goron sword and do spinning attacks. This takes them both out very quickly. Inside the chest, we pick up the fairy bow. Now we're ready to do some ghost hunting. So now let's head back into the room we just came from to shoot all of these ghosts out of the 3 portraits that are in the room. Just make sure you do it from a distance so the ghost doesn't have time to jump to a different portrait. That's how we make them come out of the portrait and fight them. Now we have to fight them face to face. Shoot them with an arrow when they're visible, then they're going to disappear. But you can make them come back quicker if you throw a Deku Nut at them. So if you take turns of Deku Nut and arrow, you can end the fight very quickly to reveal the chest in the room. This chest has another key that we need for this dungeon. Then go back into the room where we fought all the Stalfoses and exit the other door. That'll lead to this room that has 3 more portraits we're going to have to shoot. And then it's same deal as we did with the other ghost. Shoot him with an arrow, then throw a nut on the ground to make him reappear so you can shoot him with an arrow again. When he's taken care of, that'll light the torch and reveal a chest. This time the chest will have a compass for us. The next 2 doors up ahead are both locked and we only have 1 key. So we're going to need to head to the other side of the forest temple where the last key is. Go ahead and use Furor's Wind to get back to our fast travel point. Now that we have the fairy bow, we can shoot the little eye above the twisted hallway. That'll make the twisted hallway go straight so we can get to the next area. This time when we go down the hall, the next room is going to be on its side, so we can pick up that chest we couldn't get earlier. That's how we're going to get the boss key. Then turn around and look for a hole in the floor. We want to jump down. That leads to another room that has 2 blue baubles. We're going to need to take them both out in order to unlock the bars that are on the door in this room. Head through that door and you'll notice we're back outside again. You can jump across to this ledge very carefully and then switch to your hook shot so we can get another Gold Skulltulas stuck on the vines up here, but don't fall off or we're gonna have to go all the way back. Now very carefully turn around, jump back onto this ledge, then take care of the Deku Baba because behind him on the right there is an alcove with a door. In this room we'll be forced to fight a new enemy known as a Floor Master. First throw a Deku Nut, then jump attack while he's frozen. That'll split him into 3 smaller hands. Then use your magic to charge up a spinning attack and take out all 3 little hands at once. They'll drop magic bottles to replenish you. With the Floor Master defeated, the door will unlock and a chest will appear in the middle of the room. This is where we get the 5th and final small key we need for this dungeon. Exit the room and then make a right. There's another door we're going to go through. This door is going to lead back to the room we were in earlier where we cast Furor's Wind. Make your way back up to the third story where the red block was. Look for this railing on the side, because across the way there's a gold eye we can shoot with an arrow that'll reveal a chest. Inside this chest, you just get more arrows. Now this room is cleared out and we need to head back to that twisted hallway that we made straight. Here I'm using Furor's Wind to get back, and then we come outside, turn around, shoot the arrow into the eye, and that'll make the straight hallway twisted again. Okay, so now we're going to head back through the twisted hallway, down the stairs where we fought the ghost, through the Stalfos room, back up the stairs in the next room, and then we'll get to the locked door. This room has more shadow monsters and looks just like the rooms we were just in. You want to go all the way down this straight hallway and unlock that last locked door. In here, we're going to need to jump onto these platforms that spin around the area and then pull out your bow and shoot the arrow through the fire so that it melts the ice surrounding the eye. That's going to twist up the hallway that we just came through. So now we're going to head back down this newly twisted hallway into the next room where we're going to find a hole in the floor. Jump down there, and in this room, the ceiling is going to crash into the floor. Then the ceiling goes back up and slams back down over and over. You need to make your way across the room carefully. First, there's a switch we have to activate to unlock the door at the end of the room, and then without being attacked by the Skulltulas here, we need to make our way to the chest and pick up a bundle of arrows. Then head through the door that we just unlocked. This leads to a room that has a painting of another ghost. Shoot this one with an arrow, and these puzzle pieces will fall from the ceiling onto the floor. You need to put all these puzzle pieces back together so that it makes a picture of the ghost, and one of those pieces doesn't belong, so watch out. If you can do it before the timer runs out, the next ghost will appear. Just like the other ghost fights, I'm going to use a combination of Deku nuts and arrows to speed this fight up. Then when he's done, let's head back. Then we make our way back through this room without getting smashed by the ceiling and look for some stairs that lead to a door. The door leads to a ledge we couldn't reach earlier, and Navi's going to turn green out here, meaning you can play the Scarecrow song and make Pierre appear. Then we can hookshot back if we need to. Jump down carefully onto the next ledge and look for a Gold Skulltula we also couldn't reach. Use your hookshot to defeat him and collect a token. On the other side of this ledge, there's also a chest that contains a recovery heart. Jump off this ledge and let's head inside back to the main room where we first encountered the 4 ghosts. Now that we've defeated 3 of them, the 4th and final one is waiting for us in the middle of this room. Walk up to fight. In this fight, there's 3 fake bows and 1 real one. You need to shoot the real one with your bow and arrow, and I'm going to show you how to tell which one's the real one. When the ghosts appear back, notice one of them does a little spin here. That's how you know that's the real ghost. Target the one that spins and shoot it with your arrow. Waiting for them to come back. Here we go. There's your bonus spin. That's how we know who the real ghost is. Alright, they're back again. Who's going to spin for me? Oh, this time it's the one on the right over here. You know, I should have tried throwing a Deku nut to see if she would come back quicker. If anyone tries that, let me know in the comments down below. With the final Poe defeated, the last torch lights, and we can now use this elevator to head down to the boss fight. Well, technically there's one more little area with a chest and a Gold Skulltula before we get to the boss fight, and this is that area. It's a round room that has 2 doors. You can see one out in front of me, and there's one behind me, but there's also this ledge thing over here to the left. We're going to push that ledge counterclockwise around the room, and as we do, it's going to move where those 2 doors are, which lets us get to the other hallways that we can't see at the moment. Here we go, pushing that ledge counterclockwise, which moves the door behind us so that we can get to this room with the switch. Hit the switch and then come push this ledge counterclockwise. Then head through the other door this time to hit a switch, come back out, push that ledge counterclockwise, and now we're going to go back through the first door we went through. This time it'll have a Skulltula and a chest that has an arrow, plus there's something on the wall here. It's the last Gold Skulltula of the Forest Temple, so pull your hookshot out, destroy it, and pick up the token it leaves behind. Now leave the room and push the ledge counterclockwise one more time, go back into the room we were just in. Now there's a switch that leads to the other door opening to the boss room. After Phantom Ganon makes his flashy entrance, he's going to ride off into the sunset in one of these portraits. Now we can go home. Just kidding. One of 2 things are going to happen. A, he's going to come at you through this portrait and attack you through a purple portal. Or B, he's going to come at you in this portrait, but then at the last minute turn around and run off. Does that mean we're safe? If I'm safe, then why did I get hit with lightning right here? That's because there's 2 Phantom Ganons. That's right. One of them's going to come at you and turn around at the last minute, while the other one uses the purple portal to attack you, unless you attack him first. My advice is to line up your bow and arrow in the middle of a portrait, then spin around the room in one direction so you can keep track of where the two Ganons are. That way, if the one you're trying to attack turns around at the last minute, you'll know where the other one is and can attack him before he attacks you. But if you can only find one and the one you're watching is fake, at the last minute, shoot an arrow straight up in the air. You might hit the horse before he attacks you. After enough hits with the arrow, he dismounts the horse for phase 2. In this phase, Phantom Ganon's gonna attack you with balls of lightning, but you could hit that ball of lightning back at him with your sword and make him vulnerable to attack. And sometimes we have this charming back and forth, where you guys play tennis with this orb of lightning until someone gets hit. When this happens, the person who gets hit stays stunned for a bit longer, so this is a good one to win. Then we can get him a lot more attacks when he falls down. And if you don't have your Master Sword, you can always just use one of these glass bottles to bat the orb back at him. These glass bottles are made tough. We also have our Big Goron sword trick. That's where you do a jump attack with the Big Goron sword, and then switch over to the Master Sword. Now, if you don't target the enemy and duck down with your shield, every little jab will do just as much damage as that jump attack with the Goron sword. This is how you one-cycle the boss. And before you leave, don't forget to pick up this heart container. It's very possible to leave without collecting the heart container. And that, my friends, is how you defeat the Forest Temple as adult Link in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is going to award you the Forest Medallion and reawaken the Forest Sage Saria. If you have any other tips, strategies, or suggestions for this temple, please leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and obey.